being a producer is a full-time job. You have to network yourself, you have to promote, you have to be making tunes, you have to be putting sets together to DJ, etc. So it's a lot of work for all that stuff. But I don't know, I just want to have like an impact with music. Like there are so many artists I look up to, and like every time they release a song, I'm just so excited, right?
Yeah.
So like we all have those people. So like I want to get to a point where I'm that person for someone, and that'll be everything I need. If there's something you want enough, you try to make it happen. So
Welcome back to Two for Us podcast, aka the #1 podcast in Winnipeg, where we document the rise, stardom of Winnipeg's talent and personalities. A lot of guests, summer of sound. Let's go.
Boom. We got Carson with us here today. He's a DJ. He's going to be DJing soon, and he's running the OVO party. Sorry, not OVO, OV party, after party of Summer of Sound. So let's talk to this guy.
What's up, Carson?
Thank you for coming on, brother.
yeah, no problem. Thanks
Carson,
for having me, guys.
Are you excited?
I'm
Are you ready?
I'm very excited.
Are you ready for the 10,000 people going to walk through that door right now?
It's nuts. I am ready. I was prepared a couple weekends ago, being around so many people. I went to EDC in Vegas, so I'm very excited to have a nice, like, a little more intimate group, but still a lot of people. So I'm very excited. Yeah.
Man, coming from Vegas to Winnipeg, what's that like?
Oh man, my mom would be proud. I didn't get a sunburn in Vegas. It was great. But I came back here one day. My back's a lobster. But yeah, no. Festivals in Winnipeg, they're sweet. It's been so long since we have a Summer of Sound.
Exactly.
Like the hype is nuts. Like everyone is so jacked up for this.
We're back. We got to go. Our show's all about the rise, so we got to talk about your rise. Take us back as far as it goes to how you got to this moment in time.
All right. Well, it was a gloomy day in May in 1995. et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. So about 27 years later, we are here. I started DJing about 2 years ago as a social wedding DJ. So I was doing that for a bit, basically giving me a reason to, or basically giving me a way to practice DJing like EDM and stuff like that.
Okay.
And Summer Sound, like 2019 was a huge influence on that. So I got into DJing. I was asking all my buddies, like, what equipment should I buy, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. And then I got into it, started learning some things, got my own production software, and I started making tunes, and got a handful of songs on Spotify now. So we're just continue to push and keep going.
Awesome. So, like, what made you go into the music scene, or even like the EDM? It's so like genre specific. Whereas like a lot of people would be like, oh, maybe it's tough to get into the EDM scene, or even the house scene, right?
For sure.
There's so many big names out there that, like, I feel like a lot of little people don't get the attention as much, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. Like a lot of the top is very like 1%, like top heavy, but there is such a cool community of like small producers like myself, and like the level up from me, and even like the level up from that are all kind of intertwined together, and like communicating with each other, working with each other. Like I have some amazing friends and connections that I've made with other producers in America, in Europe, and other parts of Canada that have just been so helpful, and just growing, trying to like everyone grow each other and help out, like work on stuff together, get feedback, etc. So it's super cool seeing other house people, like even in the city too, like Faj has helped with feedback and stuff like that. So is House of Panda and like Prism, like all the guys here have been fantastic. So it's just super cool seeing, like, the house scene is very community focused. So it's awesome that everyone wants each other to grow. Yeah. So that's super cool.
I also think the more people that do it, the more that the Winnipeg scene grows as well.
Yeah,
right?
100%. Like there's a lot of promo companies in Winnipeg, like pushing this kind of music. The Always Dale guys have been such an impact, have had such an impact in Winnipeg in the last couple of years. Just I remember like the guys that started it, they're just two buddies of mine. They were throwing house parties with 20 to 30 people 2 years ago, and now they have a stage here too. So that's kind of sick. So they helped me out a lot in my journey too, putting me out and getting me to play places, and then just meeting the right people and networking and just talking and showing interest. But you got to put in the work too, right? You got to show that you can perform, and you have some semblance of talent, and you can make a party a good time, you know?
Yeah. What is the feeling like? You know, you coming from playing for 20 people, even like you mentioned, right? and now you're going to be playing for almost 10,000 people. Or
Yeah.
even
They're gonna be
closer.
here.
They're going to be
They're
here,
gonna be
right?
here.
Yeah,
They're
it's going to be super cool. Like I used to take my decks to my buddy's house, and I would play in his basement to literally him and another one of our friends, and I would just practice to our two buddies in this tiny basement that was the size of like a little 10 by 10 basement room, and then getting up to where this is, it's crazy. It's a sweet opportunity. I'm very excited.
What was the feeling when you got the opportunity? When you got a text, phone, or whatever, email, whatever it was?
It didn't hit me really until like I was talking to my buddy Andy, and he was saying that like everyone has to come through the front to get in, right? So like
that's why we're
and
here too.
doors open at 3, right? So you gotta be there. You have to see it. Like you can't avoid it. So like you gotta be performing, right? You gotta be doing good stuff. You gotta try to keep them there. You gotta give them something good to hear.
Exactly.
If they want to go outside, et cetera, right?
One of the reasons why we're at the entrance as well.
Yeah, 100%, man. Face value. It's all about the exposure,
exactly.
right? Yeah, man.
So how important do you say like networking is? You know, like you mentioned that like without your network, you can't really do that. Is that really important in the EDM scene?
100%. Yeah. Networking it's a lot of the times is about who you know and your social media presence as well. Like there are guys that are so deserving of playing like EDC and like huge shows around the world.
Right.
But like all these smaller, like there's some smaller guys that also like super deserving. Like I'm not taking away from anyone else, but like there are huge people that like don't get booked for some things just because like their network might not be where it should be or something like that. So it's a crazy thing to have to work on. Like being a producer is a full-time job. You have to network yourself. You have to promote. You have to be making tunes. You have to be putting sets together to DJ, et cetera. So it's a lot of work for all that stuff. And networking's a huge part.
Sorry, what's your grind like? How often are you making music? How often are you?
Well, currently I made a little life change last fall. I got bought out of a franchise I was a part of. So for the last 6-7 months now, I've just been no job, just kind of working, and just grinding. I make music almost every day. If I'm not making music, I'm either organizing music or preparing something else or trying to do some marketing thing for my brand, etc.
So what does the studio vibes look like? Or is it like dark LED lights or?
Well, I have a couple smart lights in my bedroom, but no, it's basically just laundry on the floor, bedroom, a couple studio monitors, and a laptop. That's it.
That's all you need, though.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
That's what John Summit uses.
You know?
So I'm
exactly.
just,
you don't need a full setup. Who wants to pay the rent to go to a studio? You know,
exactly.
When people are making bangers.
That's what I'm saying. People make some of the most insane music you've ever heard has been made on a 13-inch MacBook. So with AirPods, like Chris Lake uses like Apple headphones to mix a lot of the times because that's what most people listen to their music on, right?
Yeah. And if you can do it, why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Why not? You mentioned some of your goals before we got on. What are those? Share with the world, my friend.
We're trying to upgrade from the inside stage to Summer Sound to one time, or at some point the outside stage. Main stage is always the goal for everywhere. But I don't know. I just want to have like an impact with music. Like there are so many artists I look up to, and like every time they release a song, I'm just so excited, right? Yeah. So like we all have those people. So like I want to get to a point where I'm that person for someone, and that'll be everything I need.
I love it.
So why particularly music? You know, like a lot of people go into like, oh, I want to go to high school and like, you know, become an engineer like me.
Yeah.
Or
like what inspired that musical journey?
Honestly, like Summer Sound did really. Yeah, like I was at a good job and I was doing fine. I was living on my own, have some roommates, we're all having a good time, but I fell in love with this idea of house music and making it is really just a purchase away from getting some software and diving in, and if there's something you want enough, you try to make it happen. So we just pushed. I watched all the videos. There's still so much to learn, but like we're trying to learn every day and like keep making new beats and put out new songs. And yeah, like I think house music is the most communal kind of subgenre of EDM. Yeah. Where everyone can find a song that resonates with them or that gives them like an important emotion that they want to feel, something like that, right? That makes them feel some kind of way. So I just want to be doing that, you know?
I like it. I like it. It's 2:55. You got to
Yep.
go in at 3.
Yes, sir.
Is there anything you want to leave the audience with before you go? And I'm sure we'll catch up again for a full episode, but
I got a song dropping on July 1st.
let's go.
Stay tuned
Yeah.
to Canada Day.
All right.
Called Bounce That.
Bounce that then.
It's all
Okay.
about booty.
Make sure to check out Carson. Everything will be in the description below. And yeah, tune in next time. Peace.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thanks, Carson.
Cheers.
Thanks for making the time, buddy.